everyone. This is Amber, and I know you're like, I know she is not trying to talk about dads and how to be a dad when you didn't have a father figure in your life. And I can, because I am actually a daughter of a man who did not have his biological father in his life. And I am going to give you some things that I appreciated with my dad. He has been passed for 2 months now, and I know it's still fresh right now, but what I'm saying to come from a place of purity, because my dad meant a lot to me, and I really saw through the years of how he really did try. And so I just didn't want for this moment to go away without sharing some things from a daughter's perspective, a child's perspective, on what really mattered the most. Here are some tips and things that from my childhood until now that I remember about my dad, and what I most remember now that he's gone. Number one, I will say, because this is a Christian blog, keep God in your life. Find God in your life. I can't say from personal experience that I know that my dad prayed for me, but I don't know what conversations he had to God about his children. And so one thing that I can say is that I know he had some type of conversation because the transition in his life. So I would say number one is to find God and keep God in your life. Number two, stay in their life. That means be as present as possible. If you are a father who does not live with the child's mother, go to court if necessary and get those documents. You're going to have to, that is a priority. There's no excuse about there's no time. You have to make time, and you have to make time to go to court and get those rights for you. You are the biological. Even if you have to establish paternity, do that so you can be in the child's life. If you are in the home, try to stay as present as possible. Kids see when you're not attached in the home. So I encourage you to be present and stay in their life as much as possible. Keep your routine and stay consistent. So my dad, I live with my mom, and because they divorced, and so we live with our mom and we have visitation to my dad. I can't remember a time where he said no, that we can't come, or that it was so consistent that I was like, yeah, he always said that he can't show up or do this or do that. My dad was always consistent. I remember going to him on Monday nights. I remember, and then it changed to the weekends, and so I remember that, and it was consistent. That meant a lot to me because I got to see my dad remarry, and I got to see when especially when we was going into that blended home, some of the changes that I saw in his life. I saw a changed man. So be consistent and stay consistent as possible. A mentor. So if you didn't have a dad, you don't know how to be a dad, you don't know the first thing about manhood, and to be honest, that is a very vulnerable state to be in, but it's okay to admit that. They're a therapist, but also get a mentor that you see is doing good, because probably on the back end they are struggling too, but they can mentor you on how to maneuver through the parenthood, maneuver through when a dad wasn't there, maneuver through blended families. There are so many dynamics now, and so I would say just get a mentor and get someone. My dad, like I said, he had his biological dad was actually shot and killed when he was 6 months old, but he had the family took him in, and there was a male figure there. He wasn't there very long, but there was a male figure there. Learn from your mistakes and do better. So we are our children's first experience to what life is, and so we do not want our children to see repetitive mistakes. You don't believe this statement or not, children see and watch and do what you do. So do better and your children will see it. Don't speak bad about the mom, and don't frustrate the home that your child is in. For two-parent homes, it's good that your child see or your children see healthy disagreement, but do not be the monster, quote unquote, in your child's life. I moved or maneuvered through 2 homes. I never once heard my dad say or remember my dad saying anything bad about my mom. And I wasn't looking for that when I was young, but nowadays I know that children hear it left and right. But from my experience, what I appreciated is that when we was with him, we was with him. It was his time. He ain't talking about my mom. He may have had thoughts in his head, but it was not that he spoke anything. Now, if something came up and I see his facial expression, but he never said anything bad about my mom. Also, like, if you're outside of the home, don't continue to frustrate the mom and making her life hell because she's raising your kid. You are in the home, and these rules still apply to you. Do not be that person who comes in and is angry and is this and this and this. Try to keep the peace. Try to keep their mom, because they're always going to love their mom no matter what. So children are going to love their mom. So when they see you loving their mom correctly, it makes all the difference. As for me, my dad, and this is for the split home. So my dad, I really didn't see my dad go through women, but keep your women at a minimum. Like, I remember meeting one of my dad's girlfriends, which was a long-term girlfriend. And then they broke it off. And then the next woman that we met really was my stepmom. I literally only met 2 women in his life from the time that I was 4 when they divorced until the time that he married again, which was when I was like 11 or 12. So that showed his integrity and showed me that he just didn't want to bring anyone around us and that he valued us. And so my dad didn't, I'm sure that he had his life when we wasn't there, but we never met women like that was coming through. One thing that my dad did do was sit us down, and this was when we was in our teens, and of course, I know it was hard for him and we wasn't trying to really hear all of it. He wanted to let us know he didn't have a father. He had to move in with his auntie. He is just trying to do everything right. Have a heart to heart. That helps the child understand. They will digest it. They may not show you, oh dad, it's okay, but they digest it and they understand, and then they have a sort of compassion for you. And I know it's hard as a man to do that, but my dad did, and I'm so grateful that he did. Show up when it matters to the child. Show up. So assemblies, plays, movies, graduations, anything, games, anything that matters to the child, show up, show your face. You don't even have to tell that you're coming. Be there. Make sure that your child sees you. Make sure that your child sees that you are taking part of their what they are interested in. And just check in. I know the second point was go to court if necessary for those little babies, because I know that the mom controls everything, especially when you're in a 2-person home. But like when they're older and old enough to have their cell phones, or buy them a cell phone. It don't have to be the glamorous one, but just something that they can have so they can talk to you, and just check in and just like, hey, how you doing? Hey, I just thinking about you. Hey, you ran across my mind. Just want to see if you're good. In your words, in your daddy words, say that, because that helped. And once they get older, they will appreciate it and still do that. In their 20s, in their 30s, my dad did that. He was like, man, I miss you. I haven't heard from you, and that let me know that I was on his mind. If you're in the home, check in, just pop into their room, just want to be sure that you're okay. Always be interested, even if the child doesn't physically show you that they're interested. It is registering in them, and it helps them all the more. So I hope this helps, coming from a child of basically a fatherless father who was trying. And I can say that through these past years that I've noticed about him, he showed and proved to us that he wanted to be a better man. He expressed it to us in so many ways. I saw it in his heart. Continue to keep God first, and everything else will fall into place.